Hey YouTube, this is T5123. I'm here to do a deck profile. I just played my first regional since YCS Toronto, and a lot of people are curious to see what I was playing for the London regionals that took place last Saturday, which was 28th. And I played Inzektors, and everyone wants to see the build, so I'm just going to show you the build. I'll explain some of the choices in it and go through it. So, played 3 tomato, because I don't have tour guide. Armageddon Knight, three Inzektor Centipede, three Hornet, three Dragonfly, three Maxi, two Veiler. I would have liked to play the third, but I ended up trading the third off to one of my friends who needed it more, so I only played with the two. A Zephyros, Dark Arm, Birdman, and Sangan. Pretty basic choices. The only thing I would have changed would have been take out the Zephyros, which I didn't really felt I used a lot. He was just sort of there, and I would put in the third Veiler for that. None for the spells. Heavy Storm, two Duality. I would have played three, but the deck is just so tight, it's hard to fit in the third one, so I ended up cutting one. Really worked out in my favor. I ended up side note one in games 2 and 3 if I found that it didn't really work out as much anyways. Let's see, it's got Reborn, Book, Foolish Burial, Pot of Avarice, Lure of Darkness, and Dark Hole. Pretty basic for the most part. For the traps, Mirror Force, Solemn Judgment, Torrential Tribute, two Warning, and the big card of this seems to be now is Phoenix Chain. Phoenix Chain seems to be huge. It works so great, stops so many big monsters, stops everything from happening. You know, I was in a Zen mains lock at one point in time, and I had a Zen mains, their opponent had Zen mains, and he tried to brow to get rid of mine, and I Phoenix Chained him, so he negged one, plus what he used to synchro, and yeah, it ended up being really good. And for the side. Sorry, it's a little shaky. I don't have the best camera in the world here. Okay, for the side, two Reaper, pretty much for your Dino, which I ended up playing one, and he ended up Dark Holing my Reaper, so it really didn't work out the best for me in the end anyways. Cyber Dragon, just sort of basic. It's, you know what, in Ontario, you always see GBs, and sure enough, in about round 4, I saw a GB matchup, so this ended up being a card I had to side in. Two Thunder King Rail. Like I said, the deck was really tight to build with in the beginning, so I couldn't really fit them in the main, so this was a good side deck card. And with that being said, you know, I put in, if I'd side in 4 lights, I'd always side in BLS as well, so I only ever did that once, I believe. 3 MST, if you notice I didn't play it within the main. Dragonfly Centipede really creates such a big loop that I'm popping back rows as it is, so I really didn't need this. I ended up siding this in against Chainburn and against GBs, and that was pretty much it. I really didn't need it for anything else. One Leech in the light. I ended up playing a couple light decks where I needed it. A Twilight deck, and then I played Botang in the finals, which he was using Tour Guide Agents, which I sided that in. To Debunk, really didn't use this card, but there was only 53 people at this regional, and a lot of them didn't even seem to be playing a lot of the major cards. I probably would use in a bigger tournament. And the last 2 cards were Chain Disappearances, which I almost always sided in because it ended up destroying a whole wind-up deck by hitting his Magician and his Rat in the same turn, killing off his whole deck for the most part. side. I missed a couple of cards because I was borrowing them, but I only played 14 because I couldn't find a 15th card. One Chimera Tech, Utopia. I played 2 Leviathans. The other one was my friend's. Levier. Scrap Dragon. A lot of the Synchros actually I never even used. I did play Valor and I played the Birdman. I never actually was able to sync. Trish. Black Rose. Brinac. Taster. Sardis. And the other cards that aren't in here would have been Armory Arm, Zen Mains, and Steel Swarm Roach. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you think of it. It wasn't the best build. There was a few things like I said I wanted to change, but that was it for the most part. Till then, take care.